I'm Ethan, 38, an architect with a life most people would kill for. I've got a three-bedroom house in a quiet suburb, no mortgage, a career designing high-end homes that pays well, and a 12-year marriage to Claire, the woman who's been my rock since we were 25. We don't have kids, just a lazy golden retriever named Max who thinks he owns the couch. On paper, it's perfect, but life isn't paper, is it? Somewhere along the way, things got stale. Dinner at 7, Netflix by 9, bed by 11, like we were stuck in a loop. I wasn't unhappy, not exactly, but I felt like something was missing. The spark, the excitement, the way Claire used to look at me like I was the only guy in the room. I wanted that back. So I did the dumbest thing I've ever done. I suggested an open marriage. It was a Thursday night, nothing special, just me and Claire eating sushi takeout on the living room couch. Max was sprawled out at my feet, snoring loud enough to drown out the TV. I'd been mulling over the idea for weeks, scrolling through forums on my phone late at night, reading about couples who swore opening their marriage saved them. I'd even watched some YouTube videos, couples in their 30s, all smiles, talking about how non-monogamy brought them closer. It sounded modern, liberated, like something we could handle. Claire and I were solid, right? We'd been through job losses, family drama, even a year-long renovation that nearly killed us. We could do this. So I put down my chopsticks, took a swig of beer, and just said it. What if we open things up? Saw other people, keep things fresh. Claire's eyes snapped up from her California roll, wide like I'd just suggested we rob a bank. You mean, like, sleep with other people? She asked, her voice tight, almost shaky. I nodded, trying to keep it casual. Yeah, just casually, no big deal. We'd set rules, stay honest, keep us first. She didn't say much after that, just poked at her food, her face unreadable. Claire's always been the cautious one, the one who thinks 10 steps ahead. I'm the impulsive one, the guy who jumps in and figures it out later. That's why we worked, or at least we used to. She didn't agree right away. Over the next week, we talked it out. Long, tense conversations over coffee or late at night in bed. I pushed hard, painting this picture of us living on our terms, breaking free from the monotony. It'll make us appreciate each other more, I said, sounding like some self-help guru. We'll have fun, keep it light, come back stronger. Claire kept asking, "Are you sure, Ethan? Is this really what you want?" I was sure. I thought I was. I was so caught up in the idea of freedom, of chasing something new without losing what we had, that I didn't stop to think about the risks. I was an idiot. Claire finally agreed, but only after we set strict rules. Total honesty about who we're seeing, no emotional attachments, and our marriage always comes first. I felt like I'd hit the jackpot. I had my stable life, my house, my dog, my wife, and now a hall pass to have some fun. What could go wrong? The first month was a rush, like I was 25 again. I joined a dating app, something discreet for open-minded people. Within a week, I was meeting Jess, a 32-year-old graphic designer with a laugh that could light up a room. We'd meet at bars downtown, have a few drinks, hook up in her loft apartment. No strings, just fun. I'd come home to Claire, feeling alive, like I'd cracked some code to having it all. Claire was quieter than usual, but I figured she was just adjusting. She hadn't gone out much herself, said she wasn't ready. Take your time, I told her, all supportive, like I was some enlightened husband. I was too busy enjoying my side of the deal to notice the shift in her eyes, the way she'd look at me like she was trying to figure me out. Then she started seeing Ryan, a coworker from her marketing firm. She told me about him one night over dinner, sticking to our rules. "He's nice," she said, casual, cutting into her chicken. "We're grabbing coffee tomorrow." I nodded, told her to have fun, my voice all calm and cool. Inside, I was fine with it. I'd pushed for this, right? I wasn't going to be the guy who got jealous. But over the next few weeks, things changed. Claire started going out more, coming home later. She'd smile when she talked about Ryan, her eyes lighting up in a way I hadn't seen in years. "He's got this dry humor," she'd say, laughing about some joke he told at work. "You'd probably like him." My stomach started to twist. I'd lie in bed, Max snoring between us, and I'd picture her with him. Was he funnier than me? Better looking? Better in bed? I tried to shake it off. This was what I wanted, an open marriage, freedom for both of us. But every time she mentioned Ryan, it was like a jab to the gut. I started noticing little things. She'd wear makeup she hadn't touched in months, dresses I'd forgotten she owned. She'd come home from coffee with Ryan, her cheeks flushed, her voice lighter. I'd ask how her day was, and half her stories were about him. How he helped her with a project, how he got her weird obsession with true crime podcasts. I started checking her phone when she was in the shower, not because I thought she was breaking our rules, but because I needed to know how far this was going. Her texts with Ryan weren't explicit, but they were flirty, personal. "Missed you at the office today," one said, with a winking emoji that made my blood boil. I felt like an idiot for ever suggesting this. I'd opened the door, and now I was watching my wife walk through it, away from me. The jealousy grew like a weed, choking out my confidence. I'd see Claire getting ready to meet Ryan, humming to herself, and I'd feel this hot, ugly thing in my chest. I stopped going out myself. Jess texted a few times, but I ghosted her. The thrill was gone. All I could think about was Claire and Ryan. Were they just casual, like she said, or was it more? I started picking fights over nothing. Dishes in the sink, Max's fur on the couch, her leaving her shoes by the door. Stupid stuff, just to get a reaction. Claire noticed. One night she sat me down, her hands folded in her lap like she was bracing for a fight. "Ethan, are you okay with this? You're acting weird." I lied, said I was fine, just stressed from a big project at work. But I wasn't fine. I was drowning in regret, kicking myself for thinking I could handle this. Word got around because of course it did. We live in a tight-knit neighborhood, and our friends aren't exactly subtle. My buddy Mark pulled me aside at a barbecue, a beer in his hand, and said, "Heard Claire's been out a lot. You guys good?" I forced a laugh, said we were experimenting, keeping things spicy. He gave me this look, like he knew I was full of crap. Then my sister Jen called me out over coffee. "You're an idiot, Ethan," she said, not mincing words. "You think you can let your wife date other guys and not lose her? Wake up." She was right, but I didn't want to admit it. I'd made this bed, and now I was lying in it, alone, while Claire was out with Ryan, living a life I'd pushed her into. The whispers didn't stop. Our neighbor Karen, who's got a nose for gossip, cornered me while I was mowing the lawn. "Saw Claire downtown with some guy," she said, leaning over the fence like she was spilling state secrets. "Looked cozy. You okay with that?" I shrugged, said it was all part of the deal, but inside I was burning. My best friend Alex came over one night with a six-pack and didn't hold back. "Man, you screwed up," he said, cracking open a beer. "You thought you could play this game and not get hurt? Claire's out there living her best life, and you're moping around like a kicked puppy." I wanted to argue, but he wasn't wrong. I'd created this mess, and now I was the one paying for it. The breaking point came 2 months in. I was scrolling Instagram one night, Max curled up next to me, when Claire's story popped up. There she was, at some fancy rooftop bar, laughing, Ryan's arm around her. She looked happy, happier than she'd been with me in years. I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. I sat there, staring at my phone, Max whining like he could sense my mood. I'd pushed for this, told her to go for it, and now she was slipping away. The life I'd built, our home, our routines, our quiet nights with takeout, was crumbling because I thought I needed more. I couldn't sleep that night, just lay there, replaying every moment of the last few months. Had I missed signs she was unhappy? Had I pushed her too hard? I didn't think so. We'd always been good at talking things out, or so I thought. But now I was questioning everything. The next day, I tried to talk to her. She was in the kitchen, making coffee, looking like she hadn't a care in the world. "Claire, can we talk about this open marriage thing?" I asked, my voice tighter than I meant it to be. She turned, surprised, and nodded. I laid it all out, how I regretted suggesting it, how I couldn't handle her with Ryan, how I felt like I was losing her. "I thought I could do this," I said, my hands shaking, "but I can't. I want us to go back to how things were." Claire listened, her face calm but distant. "You wanted this, Ethan," she said, her voice steady. "You said it'd make us stronger. Now you're changing the rules because you're jealous?" I tried to argue, to tell her I'd made a mistake, but she cut me off. "I followed your lead. I did what you asked. And now I'm happy. Happier than I've been in years. Why should I give that up?" Her words hit like a sledgehammer. I stood there, speechless, as she grabbed her coffee and walked out to the patio. Max followed her, not me, and that hurt worse than anything. I'd always been his favorite, but even he could sense the shift. I spent the rest of the day in a fog, replaying her words. She was happy, happier than with me. I'd opened this door, thinking I could control it, but now I'm on the outside, looking in at a life I didn't recognize. The next few weeks were hell. Claire kept seeing Ryan, and I kept spiraling. I'd hear her on the phone, laughing, and I'd want to scream. I'd see her getting ready to go out, wearing that red dress she used to wear for me, and I'd feel like I was losing my mind. The rumors got worse. Karen told me she saw Claire and Ryan at a concert, looking like a couple. Mark said he heard they were planning a weekend trip. Even my mom called, worried, asking if we were splitting up. I didn't know what to tell her. I didn't know what was happening to us. I tried to focus on work, but I was a mess. My designs were sloppy, my clients were getting annoyed. My boss pulled me aside one day and said, "Ethan, get it together. You're dropping the ball." I nodded, promised to do better, but all I could think about was Claire. I'd come home to an empty house, Max wagging his tail, and I'd feel this ache I couldn't shake. I started drinking more, not enough to be a problem, but enough to dull the edge. I'd sit on the couch, scrolling through old photos of us, our wedding, our honeymoon in Italy, stupid selfies with Max, and wonder how I'd screwed it up so bad. One night, I hit rock bottom. Claire came home late, past midnight, her hair messy, her eyes bright. I was waiting in the living room, a beer in my hand, Max asleep at my feet. "Where were you?" I asked, my voice low. She sighed, like she was tired of this dance. "With Ryan," she said, not even trying to soften it. "You know that!" I snapped. "This isn't what I signed up for, Claire. I didn't want you falling in love with someone else." She froze, her bag still on her shoulder. "I'm not in love with him," she said, but her voice wavered, and I didn't believe her. "You're not yourself anymore," I said, standing up. "You're his now, not mine." She shook her head, tears in her eyes. "You pushed me into this, Ethan. You wanted me to be free. Now you can't handle it?" I didn't have an answer. I just stood there, my heart pounding, as she walked to the bedroom and closed the door. The next day, I called Alex. He came over, took one look at me and said, "You look like crap, man." I told him everything. How I'd suggested the open marriage, how Claire was slipping away, how I couldn't stop regretting it. He didn't sugarcoat it. "You played with fire, Ethan. What did you think would happen? You can't let your wife date other guys and expect her to stay the same." I knew he was right, but it didn't make it hurt less. "What do I do?" I asked, feeling like a kid begging for advice. "You fight for her," he said, "or you let her go. But you can't keep sitting here feeling sorry for yourself." I tried fighting. Over breakfast the next morning, I laid it all out again. "Claire, I was wrong," I said, my voice raw. "I thought this would fix us, but it's breaking us. I want to close the marriage, go back to how things were. I'll do whatever it takes, counseling, date nights, anything. I just want you." She listened, sipping her coffee, her face unreadable. "I need to think about it," she said finally. "I'm not sure I can go back, Ethan. I'm not sure I want to." That was worse than a no. It was uncertainty, a door left half open, and I was stuck on the wrong side. The weeks that followed were a blur. Claire kept seeing Ryan, though she was home more, like she was trying to balance things. I stopped checking her phone, stopped asking where she was. It wasn't about giving up, it was about self-preservation. I threw myself into work, started running again, even took Max on long walks to clear my head. But every night, I'd come home to her, and it felt like we were strangers sharing a house. She'd smile, make small talk, but the warmth was gone. I'd lie awake, listening to her breathe, wondering if she was thinking about Ryan. The rumors kept coming. Karen told me she saw Claire and Ryan at the grocery store, picking out wine like they were planning a cozy night. Mark said he heard Ryan was talking about moving in together. I didn't know what to believe anymore. I wanted to confront her, but what was the point? I'd pushed her into this. I'd told her to explore, to live, and now she was living without me. About a month ago, I got a call from Jen. "Ethan, you need to talk to Claire," she said, her voice serious. "I saw her today, and she doesn't look happy, not like before. Something's off." I didn't know what to make of it. Was Claire having second thoughts? Was Ryan not what she thought? I didn't dare hope, but it planted a seed. That night, I tried again. We were in the kitchen, washing dishes, Max begging for scraps. "Claire, I know I messed up," I said, my voice low. "I never should have suggested this. I thought I could handle it, but I can't. I love you. I want us back." She didn't look at me, just kept scrubbing a plate. "I don't know, Ethan," she said finally. "I need time. I'm not sure what I want anymore." That was worse than a no. It was uncertainty, a door left half open, and I was stuck on the wrong side. The weeks that followed were a blur. Claire kept seeing Ryan, though she was home more, like she was trying to balance things. I stopped checking her phone, stopped asking where she was. It wasn't about giving up. It was about self-preservation. I threw myself into work, started running again, even took Max on long walks to clear my head. But every night, I'd come home to her, and it felt like we were strangers sharing a house. She'd smile, make small talk, but the warmth was gone. I'd lie awake, listening to her breathe, wondering if she was thinking about Ryan. The rumors kept coming. Karen told me she saw Claire and Ryan at the grocery store, picking out wine like they were planning a cozy night. Mark said he heard Ryan was talking about moving in together. I didn't know what to believe anymore. I wanted to confront her, but what was the point? I'd pushed her into this. I'd told her to explore, to live, and now she was living without me. About a month ago, I got a call from Jen. "Ethan, you need to talk to Claire," she said, her voice serious. "I saw her today, and she doesn't look happy, not like before. Something's off." I didn't know what to make of it. Was Claire having second thoughts? Was Ryan not what she thought? I didn't dare hope, but it planted a seed. That night, I tried again. We were in the kitchen, washing dishes, Max begging for scraps. "Claire, I know I messed up," I said, my voice low. "I never should have suggested this. I thought I could handle it, but I can't. I love you. I want us back." She didn't look at me, just kept scrubbing a plate. "I don't know, Ethan," she said finally. "I need time. I'm not sure what I want anymore." That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, things have been quiet. Claire's still seeing Ryan, but she's home more. And sometimes I catch her looking at me, like she's trying to remember who we were. I'm trying to give her space, to show her I'm still here, but it's hard. Every day, I wake up regretting that stupid idea, that moment I thought I needed more. I had everything, Claire, Max, our life, and I threw it into chaos. Now I'm stuck, living in the house I built, with the wife I love, but she's half gone. I see Ryan's name on her phone, hear her hum songs she never used to like, and I know it's my fault. I opened this door, and I can't close it. All I can do is wait, hoping she'll choose me. But deep down, I'm terrified she won't.